What's up guys, Richard here, and I wanted to present to you the second real game I worked on. And if you have a look at my screen right now, you can see that this one is built in Unreal Engine. Now this game was actually quite an impressive project for myself. It was a real challenge because I built this one while we were at school, and we had like 2 weeks to build the whole thing from beginning to end, and in that time we also had to learn the engine that we were going to build it in. The options were Unity or Unreal. I looked online and I basically discovered that Unreal is like what the industry uses overall, especially the big AAA games, and Unity's more like independent, smaller games, and I just didn't like the look of Unity, the stuff that it was producing. Some of it looked good, but from what I could tell, that required like real expertise, while Unreal just out of the box just looked amazing. So I decided to learn Unreal. I had 2 weeks to learn it, how to code in it, and I was also learning 3D modeling at the same time, and I had been learning it for a accumulation of about 3 weeks. So all up, what you're seeing right now is 2 weeks learning Unreal and programming, plus 3 weeks learning modeling. Now, I love horror games. The main reason I love horror games is just because they're awesome. But the second one is when you're building a horror game, it's really easy to hide your mistakes, especially when you're an amateur and you're learning like I am. Like here, it looks good. Everything looks good at distance, but you get close up and you can see like this door is actually not really a door. It's just like a texture that I've slapped in there, and the lighting is bad, and if you go around to the other side of the church, the UVs are all crappy, and if you look inside here, it's just like white. But that's okay, with the lighting it actually makes it look pretty cool. The fog effect hides out the fact that I didn't even know that I was working with reflection captures, and you can see the reflection capture ring wrapping around here, which just did not like look very well. And all these gravestones which I made were literally just the same one rotated. So I was learning a lot while programming this, and there was so much I didn't know, because Unreal's one of those engines where the documentation's shoddy. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube, but those tutorials, like, they're like all scattered. It's like a shotgun effect trying to find where you should start and continue from. And the problem was, like, the first one I started with, they were like, okay, we're gonna build a RPG game, and like they're opening up like 100 different windows at once, and I'm like, I'm a coder, I don't like, this is blowing my brains out. So it took me a while to get used to it, but I managed to pull something off. And as you can see, I really did not have that many classes in C++. I had pretty much the bare minimum, I would say, and I was making like, I was loading in, for example, models in the constructor, which obviously you can do, and if you're building something that's quite large and you need to be able to dynamically change things and stuff, maybe that's like a good way of doing it. But this is actually a bad way of like dealing with Unreal. The whole idea is that designer selects that stuff, code deals with the underlying logic. But I was kind of doing everything underneath, which was just making it difficult, because like every time I'd move a path of an object, like this blueprint object, or sorry, this mesh object, it would just like break everything, and I was like, why is Unreal so difficult? So I was still learning a lot at that stage, and this was built for VR, so I was building for both Windows and also for the Oculus at the time, and it took me a while just to find things like this, like these macros and stuff. There was a lot of things, like for instance, I've got this ghost-like creature, if you have a look here, which I actually made, I modeled, and I'm pretty happy with that. But if you look pretty closely, it looks terrible. But anyway, I made this, and I didn't know how to make something like respawn, like once you destroy it, and how to spawn it back, because I didn't like, I was putting everything in the level blueprint and then calling on C++ classes and stuff, because I wasn't really good with like game modes and stuff like that, or even just like character controllers. So I was doing everything like really contorted, like it was not like normal way that you should be doing things. Anyway, what ended up happening was I didn't know how I could respawn my ghost. So once you killed it, I just gave it full health and then just randomly put it far away and then got it to follow a path back to you. Anyway, I figure I'll show you the game now, and you guys can be the judge of my first Unreal game. So basically, throw a Bible here to start. So you pick up a Bible, you shoot there, and then a ghost is just going to come rushing at you. So if I pick up this Bible, boom, and there it is. And you can hear all the sound effects and stuff, like, you'll hear that talking. Oh, by the way, the collisions were terrible, because I didn't realize I was doing, like, on hits as opposed to on overlaps and stuff like that. And that was literally just me going, ah! So yeah, okay, I think that's enough. You guys have seen this. Just wanted to show you. That was pretty much it. That was the whole game. 2 weeks work, learning Unreal, 3D modeling, and in all honesty, I will say right now, I've been using Unreal a lot. I used Unity a bit, but it's just not for me. I feel like Unity is... Okay, I'll just put this in video form and basically say, if you want to do 2D games, go Godot. Godot is really good. People call it Godot, but I call it Godot. I don't know why. Anyway, Godot. That is really, really good for 2D games. Like, amazing. Like, I love it. If you want 3D games, go Unreal. You could do that in Godot, but it's shaders and stuff and not very good. I don't see the appeal of Unity. Maybe before Godot came around, but Unity to me just seems like a bad version of Unreal when it comes to 3D and a bad version of Godot when it comes to 2D. So it's like a poor version sitting in the middle. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. There's probably a lot of... Okay, there's one good thing that Unity has. It's got a lot of good... I'm going to call them like plugins, but they're not really plugins. Like for example, Activism Online, which is basically an MMO builder. It comes like fully coded. You can build your own MMO. It is amazing how it works. It just straight out of the box works in Unity. But Unity itself, don't like it. So, and anyway, anything that blows up in Unity eventually comes to Unreal anyway. So that there, probably in the next 6 months, maybe even when you guys see this video, will be available for Unreal because they got an Unreal grant. So anything good that's on Unity, it basically comes to Unreal anyway because Unreal's just got the money to fund it. But if you're trying to save on licensing fees, I'd just say go to Godot. Like, that's probably going to be my idea in the future. Then again, I doubt any of my games are going to make over like the bare minimum required to pay Unreal anyway. Anyway, this just randomly went off the rails. That's pretty much it.